in a scenario where someone has a knife and you don't have any kind of tool, turn around and run as fast as humanly possible. Hey, my name's DJ Shipley. I'm a retired Navy SEAL, served roughly 17 years from 2002 until 2019. I'm a knowledge transfer specialist with GBRS Group. It's a tactical training company. We specialize on CQB. Today we look at close quarter battle scenes in movies and TV and judge how realistic they are. To run into what I would consider the center of a room with 12 adversaries is the worst scenario. Basically, as soon as he made entry, you run down the longest wall, take a right-hand turn, and then keep a wall to one of his shoulders the entire time. I mean, you can do a tack reload, so I haven't ran the magazine completely dry, and I'm moving from one transition point to other. Whole gun slide lock reload, drop it, new mag in, send it back home, and now I have it. I can do the whole thing with essentially one hand. But for him, he sticks the guy with the blade, does a little John Wick flick, knocks out the mag, locks in a new one, and just pretends like this 220-pound literal ninja behind him isn't going to do anything to disrupt it. And I know the concept of the movie, it's a bulletproof suit. The issue is if you put on a bulletproof suit and I shoot you with 9mm, it's gonna knock you on your When he cloaks, he'll grab his jacket, cover his face, and then he does like this subtle present and shoots, but he's not looking down his sights. He's not even really picking up a target. He's really looking this way, and he's just trying to get rounds down range. You're not going to hit anything, and you're shooting precious ammo you clearly don't have in reserve. For CQB and the professional, especially SWAT team guys, you have to be accountable for every single round that leaves us. There are no just winging it. We're fighting armies of assassins inside of an apartment building. I guess John's style will work, but for the reality of CQB, I wouldn't do that. He's basically gonna drop down and pretend like he's invisible and try to get in this weird 2.5-foot shootout with these guys. Multiple people shooting at him from multiple angles. Like right now, he doesn't even have a gun ready. Now he does. Now he does like this quick peekaboo. It pretends like those guys can't just run up on top of him and shoot him. Just weird transition points. He's not ducking down. So carbine goes down, he goes to pistol. That goes away, now he brings up a shotgun. It's like, the whole time you're just standing up exposed to everything around you. It's just a very vulnerable spot to be in. But if he backs up right to where you can see the light, right around the corner, he can engage a lot of people from right there. You're one arm's length away from each other, shooting actual bullets at each other. It's just not where you want to be. You'd have better luck doing a distraction and then wrapping rapidly around one side and trying to ambush him straight on. Meaning, like if this pillar's between me and you and I'm shooting over my left-hand shoulder and I see you bounce back and forth 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna send it and immediately spin around this way and try to ambush you. Entertaining, I'd give it a 10. For realism, I'd give it a 1. Let's not do that. You can see when Don Johnson initially goes to pull that pistol, right before he does, he starts to create space, starts to back up. That's exactly what he should do. If that guy's closing his distance, and if Don Johnson was a little more heads up, he would realize that and increase his pace and draw that pistol faster. Because right now, what he has is reactionary gap. It's when 2 adversaries are so close that if I make a move and I decide I'm gonna go, there's nothing you're gonna do to beat it. I would say that the way he grabbed that pistol is not going to be successful. His finger's already on the trigger. Now you grabbing it by the barrel, that first round's still gonna go off if he pulls it. So the gun comes up, I stop the gun, I smash you, strip it off your wrist, now I have control of your wrist. My issue with the clip is I don't know why he's clearing safe in it inside a reactionary gap. Pretend like Don Johnson's not a trained police officer who's gonna try to retake it back. It'd be a lot easier if I knock you off center line, kick you on your and push you. Now I can clear and safe it. Now it's my gun. He goes on guy number 2, gets him, he's gonna roll him over, which is a great job. So right now, he's trying to maintain control of that wrist that has the pistol. He's got a wrist on, so now he's trying to maintain it in a safe direction. He's gonna pry on his left arm, gonna get him in a modified Kimura, gonna start to apply pressure. Yeah, it's like a wrist lock where you apply pressure. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu move, but it's very common in the military, combative world, inside of SWAT teams. It's one of their typical disarms where you're trying to pry something out of somebody's hand. His weapons manipulation, clearing the chamber, looks great. Not a very easy thing to do, but not something super common for guys growing up in the military who probably haven't handled a revolver ever. So he's obviously highly trained that he can run through multiple weapon systems with relative ease in a high-stress environment. I do like that he's bouncing back and forth between the adversaries. Puts Don Johnson on his ass, goes over, grabs the next guy, puts him down, immediately goes back to subject number one, and now hard points there. Again, if he wanted to end it quickly, he definitely could have. So he's showing courageous restraint, appreciate the effort.
You wouldn't show up to your own show.
I'm not a huge fan of just kicking guns across the room, but yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to leave the gun laying down next to him. I'd probably give that a 5 out of 10, just because he is trained, the movement is there. I would just say that is the worst possible scenario. You got to fight two guys, both with guns in broad daylight, in the middle of an open terrain with no cover and concealment. Get there! CQB is supposed to be formed in a team. Solo CQB is about the worst thing you could ever get into because there's too many angles you're covering. Every step forward, you're opening yourself to a new angle that you don't have a teammate to cover. I wouldn't keep my hands around my side. I'd at least keep them up, and I'm scanning left and right as I'm moving down that hallway. There's no reason for me to look straight when I have opening doors. I just have my hands up, a little more thoughtful, a little more controlled, and now when he comes, I can immediately respond to him. Environmentals are everything that's around you. It could be the sharp corner of a table, it could be broken glass. He grabs a nice pane of glass, palm assist, right into the face. That's a good environmental. It's using everything around you as a weapon because I don't have a traditional fixed weapon in my hand. I have to create one right now. Yeah, if you find yourself in a scenario where someone has a knife and you don't have any kind of tool, turn around and run as fast as humanly possible. He does a great job of controlling the blade, dragging across the glass, trying to break his grip. There's little microseconds where he traps the blade, he stops, he waits for a beat, and then he goes again. Just continue to go. Drive in, headbutt him, use all the environmentals, smashing his face off glass. Anything you can do, once you put hands on him, you gotta go the entire way. Take right! One guy in the point, now I have guys, dual columns down the left and right-hand side. Now I can really control the space. I don't think they did a bad job moving. It's quiet, heel, toe, they look very slow, they look very uncontrolled. We call it 360-720. So it's everything you can see up, down, and all the way around you. So as you're looking down the hallway, you have to be scanning for everything, especially now with all the tech stuff. You're looking at CCTV cameras, booby traps. We ran into a bunch of weird stuff over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they put explosive devices in the weirdest places. So you have to be able to look everywhere and process all the information. I've never seen a role player pop out of tile, but I've definitely seen them hidden on second stories, overlooking you, and if you don't scan up, they will shoot you. That right there is the biggest issue in CQB. It's not clearing the corner. Right now, no one can clear that space where Jason's standing except for the guy on that side. It's never really good to wrap a corner and go face to face, beard to beard with somebody, especially an adversary. So if I can just shorten up and I let my friend who has a superior angle take it. So in this case, it'd be the guy on the far left side. He could lean over, clear that corner, and give it to me, and then I could take it. This guy just blows it off completely and just walks past a blind intersection, and that's why he grabs him. So I'd rather get in a 15-foot gunfight than a 2.5-foot gunfight. I will say that Jason's fight sequencing, his choreography is second to none. There's some subtle tweaks to make it more hyper-realistic. If you did all that in real life, would you survive it? No. So I'd give that a 2 out of 10. Now they've got cattle prods, they've got all kinds of distance weapons. It's kind of a nightmare. We'll just say for the sake of this, that is longer than this. I can create more distance with an extended blade than I can like a reverse grip. So you come at me, I can strike you, I can keep you away at distance. I don't have to have you make physical contact with me before I'm able to strike you. And those cattle prods, man, they're a real deal. I've been hit with those things, and they're hard to get away from. I would say getting him fully surrounded, which is what they did, is their best course of action. If they would have initiated the entire thing with someone around his neck, they probably would have had better success. The issue is you're in an elevator and they can see because it's reflective. So it's very hard to sneak up on a guy. It's no different than if I'm sitting at a diner and I'm watching reflections. Like I can watch somebody come up behind me. I know when the waitress is coming because I can see the reflection off a fork. You're just using the environmentals to increase your situational awareness. He's watching people. He can see subtle hands creeping up towards pistols. He can see people looking at their cross-partner like, get ready. He's watching all those little tells and he's already prepped for it. He's like, yeah, this dude's about to turn around right now, and he already engages with him. You have to be stronger than the adversaries, or you just have to know how to use the natural breakdown points of people. Like they grab me by the wrist, I know if I remove the thumb, they lose all grip purchase. I do like the intensity he has right out of the gate. Like he knows if they get me and they trap all four limbs, I'm stuck here. They already see they're trying to pin his wrist back. Now he's trying to fight it all the way through. I do like that he's using the environmentals. He's using his mass, running himself up and down the wall to create space. I think he's doing a fine job considering he's fighting an unwinnable battle unless you're Captain America. We call that a gaggle. That is uncontrolled body mass moving down the same structure. So you just threw a bunch of bodies at it, no real rhyme or reason. They could have just split the hallway and stacked up guys down either side of the hallway, left the center open, give the guys a little bit of room to maneuver. That way it's not just a whole hunk of bodies taking up the entire hallway. It gives people the option to dive into rooms, get out of the place when you're all just surrounded. I would give this a ranking of 3 out of 10 as far as realism. I do like the aggressive nature of his counter-assault. Is it going to work in reality? No.
17, when you went to Toro's property, this whole place blew up.
That's why we're doing this right.
Because it's an alley, it's literally 360, 720, because you have all the vertical threats as well. In a typical hallway, there's no real threat inside the roof unless it's completely open. Now, if I'm in an apartment building in the alley, story after story after story, everything is potential adversary or threat. So you have to process all of that in real time. But I would say that first initial sequence is very similar to what you'd see special operations, a SWAT team do. I mean, you can just see one person's holding a fixed point, the other person's kind of wrapping around the stairs for the uncleared space. Just the pace they're moving, the angles and distance you're using look very realistic. They did a good job. That's the stack, the assault team about to make entry. I wouldn't stack 3 guys in front of a closed door and try to deal with it. Really easy for the adversary just to shoot through the door. They're going to hear you on the backside of it. We're in that tiny little hallway in front of that closed door, trying to get the Holy and the sledgehammer and all that. There's just a bunch of guys standing in front of that closed door that's providing no security at all. You can't do anything until the door opens. Just get out of the way in case the rounds come through. Inward opening door, something that flings inside of the room. All I'm really trying to defeat is the actual locking mechanism as it sits inside the throw. It's only a 1/4 inch. When those guys came in, they could see that hall, they could see that immediate wall was clear. That's what they did. They wrapped around the outside to take the long way to clear back. That's a typical move. In my experience, not the best time to just stand in front of the cabinet. If we can get 2 people, I'd back a guy off and I'd fling open the cabinet door so we have a little bit of angles and distance. I'd much rather take that from 15 feet than I would 2.5 feet. So if you can create any space is better than no space. Looks like he's walking Sunday stroll to Panera Bread. That's why you get zipped. Don't have 2 hands on a gun. You're not presenting it. You're not looking for uncleared threats.
Who the hell throws a grenade in the hospital?
All those guys that are packed up inside of that hallway, they're inside a hospital that's now being overrun. You have to be able to lock down the stairwells any way into the building as fast as humanly possible. Like I'd have a dude on the stairs, at least on the floor I'm at. We can't let him sneak up behind us. I don't know why he's doing a transition. If your gun goes down, get out of the way. Get it back up and then come in there. And if you look directly below him, there's an assaulter below him that's already engaging the same people. Because right now, by the time this goes click, until this pistol comes out online and fires, I'm nothing. I might as well just be a big bullet trap. I'd much rather boom, boom, and I roll out of the way as fast as humanly possible. If my gun is down, then I come back with a pistol at the ready to take up the same space. I'd give this an 8. I mean, part of one of the reasons the show does so well is the authenticity. They've got a bunch of really good creative directors and guys that are helping out the actors. Some teams prefer to have it a dual entry, so if the door opens, one guy goes left, one guy goes right, and then there's an order of events that follow after that, how many guys they want to put into the room, but the crisscross, it's very common to see in CQB. Some guys do it all from the same side, and one guy will button hook, but that's so you have an equal chance of cutting the room in 50-50 as fast as humanly possible. You should be kicking just underneath it, not kicking a doorknob, because if you kick it hard, you'll break your foot. We call it a Leonidas kick from that movie 300. We used to turn 180 degrees and donkey kick it from the back. I'm basically turned around backwards kicking it. Now I can't see. We've had a lot of guys, their foot gets stuck in a door. You can imagine how funny you look as a full assaulter with your foot shoved through a residential door, and now I can't get it out. So if I have both hands on my gun and I stomp straight ahead, I can see where my foot goes, I'm more accurate, and then if it actually opens, now I'm in a place where I can make a dynamic entry. That's not a smoke grenade, it's a flash grenade because of the Hollywood theatrics and the pyrotechnics. It kind of gives off the feeling it's a smoke grenade, but you don't want a smoke grenade, and that's a lot of the reason why explosive breaching becomes a hindrance, because it kicks up so much dust that you can't see anything. But not a lot of guys running around inside of their own home with an RPG trying to shoot you from 25 feet. That's not, I haven't seen that personally. There's such a backblast that comes out of them, you're not supposed to shoot them in confined spaces. A lot of times it'll collapse the structure on top of them. I thought he did a beautiful transition. I mean, he's clearly trained that a lot. That's not an easy maneuver to pull off. He took a bad corner, so he's basically presented here, didn't clear his corner, and that's where the adversary jumps out, grabs his gun. Now it's pinned. You're not wrestling that thing away from a 200-pound man, you're not. And that's why most guys carry a fixed blade. So a lot of guys will run a dagger center line on their chest. They can pull with both hands, either left-handed or right-handed. They'll have it just offset center. So that way, if this guy has control of my gun, I let it go and I pull this out, I'm immediately over the top. These things with knives behind their back, it's cool for utility blade, but in actual reality, it's gonna be very hard to get to. And it's a very precarious situation. If you get your hand stuck back here and they pin it, it's very hard to get it back. So that's why if everything is on my center line, I'm stronger from here and I'm faster on weapons deployment. And his re-transition back to pistol, immediately drops it, redeploys pistol, comes back out, double shot to the head. That's about as good as you go. I'd give that an 8 out of 10 as far as realism. All those guys are flowing in behind, but you're not just all bum rushing the entire thing because it's slow and methodical. So the first 4 guys, whatever, make entry, start doing it, and everybody else is kind of in reserve, and they're slowly but surely creeping up, so there's not a big delay or a gap. But you're just not going to storm the castle with 12 guys. A lot of times it's easier to solve it with less people than it is more. If you throw 45 people at that problem, it's a nightmare. I'd rather take 4 than 40. You got half the guys at high ready, some of the guys at low ready. It's really all unit discretion. So the high ready, you know, if I have a carbine, I keep it at the high port. For me, I like it better in tight confined spaces because I can ready the gun faster. If I have it at a low port configuration, I have to bring it up and around to get into configuration. A lot of units, they only run in high port. So if you watch them do CQB, this is a ready position. They drive it out, they engage. A lot of the other units, they keep it at a low port. Both have pros and cons. It all just depends on the style and how rapidly you can deploy them. Nods and a laser are definitely the most crucial elements for nighttime CQB. You have to have night vision to see at night. You have to have a laser to have an aiming device and to provide the illumination that you don't have inside of your reality. So a lot of things you can get away with in nighttime CQB, being slow or being super, super quiet. Sometimes in broad daylight, it's the reverse. Like you're not invisible. Everything you do. Everything is about how much noise you can mitigate. Everything from the shoes you wear to your pants, the Velcro that's on them. I mean, we'll take lighters and heat up the Velcro so it's not as sticky. So as you're by the doorway and you go to peel it, it's not loud, it's very quiet. We'll tape up different things, there's no metal on your body, nothing's gonna go rat-a-tat-tat in the middle of the night, nothing's gonna drag. They're not talking, we're not doing breaching charges. It's as quiet as possible and trying to get them off balance. So yeah, I mean, I thought he did a very good job. I'd give it a 9. I mean, stylistically, That's a very small structure, so you don't really get to see a lot of the big CQB movements, but the building blocks, that looks very realistic. Great on him for shutting off all the lights. That's exactly what I would do. Now we're on equal playing field. I own the terrain. I own my own space. You don't know my house like I do. Shotgun the front door. Now it's loud, and now they can see where you're coming from because you're telegraphing with your white light. Now, if he just hides in the shadows, he can pick them off one by one. If I flash it, I clear the hallway, I'm moving down, flash it again, moving down. It's sporadically on and off only when I need it. So if I'm walking around, it's a mixed light environment and I see something move, I'm not just shooting, I'm turning the white light on as I go to present, making sure it's worthy of a shot, and then I shoot. I'm not just flashing everything with a white light because now you can see it. Professionals don't run around on full auto, especially not M4 carbines. Outside of that, I mean, good control of the gun, trying to utilize it for him. Personally, you'd just be a whole lot better if you just would have killed that dude right off the bat and then taken his gun completely, and then you can use it like an adult instead of just hoping you can strong arm this guy and turn him. That unathletic approach, that natural human blowing through the banisters, he's not a super athlete, that's realistic. 5 out of 10, because I like the realism of, you can tell he's not John Wick, there's no fancy moves, there's no judo throws. Good use of knees and elbows. He's already handcuffed right now, but he's in such a short range, he can generate so much power. Now he's got a knife. Bourne should be backing up right now, which he is, but he's not fully disengaging. I would have turned around and ran and got things in between me and him. And now he's looking for some sort of improvised weapon. You can see him. Anything for distance. Now it's just a rolled up newspaper, just enough to get him back. Smack him in the face, lose his confidence, over and over. He'll get frustrated, and then you trap him. It's no different than boxing. I mean, you can see it when they're smashing each other against the walls. He gets him in a modified Muay Thai clinch and kind of pulls him in, and they're trying to sweep their legs out. We train Siat Kali in the military. It's a really, really effective form of fighting. Comes from the Philippines. They do a lot of blade work, a lot of extended weapons, a lot of environmentals, and then a lot of wrist arm traps. A lot of it's really, really applicable for that close-in fighting where you have to deploy multiple tools. I have to go from no weapon to a concealed weapon really, really fast. Man, I love Jason Bourne. I'd give this an 8. You grab 2 Green Berets, exact same scenario, and put them inside of that apartment and tell them to fight to the death. It looks something like that. I like the machete aspect because, like we talked about before, it's a distance weapon. Your worst case scenario would be I pull out a Swiss Army knife and I'm trying to fight a dude with a machete. He has to come in so close for me to be able to use that weapon at its full advantage. Vice now it's machete on machete. I can slip and now I can start to work myself on the way in. Double-edged daggers are kind of reign supreme. Something with a firm grip, something you thumb cap on the back, and really some sort of guard. Pick up that blade behind you. He just waited at the threshold for 2 more guys with machetes to come running in. Pick that machete up and give yourself an advantage. Snap the leg off a table. Take the whole table and kick it in front of the threshold and slow them down and start looking for environmentals. You could do anything at that point, except stand there and just wait for him to close the distance. I mean, he's striking, it's good, but the reality is that everybody he's fighting is somehow a kung fu expert and they're kicking, punching. At the end of the day, they're just gonna hack him up into pieces with that. And if you don't have a blade to defend yourself, like right now, he has nothing. Kneeing, elbowing, punching to the back of the guy's hamstring to bring him to his knees are just not a reality. I would give this a 4. There's not a scenario in life where that singleton, without any external tools, is going to walk through that apartment building and survive it. Unless it's reinforced brick. If it's just a typical house, they zip right through it. You just gotta be very mindful, and a lot of it is Because the guys do it professionally, they know the building they're going to hit really, really well. So they adjust a small little tactics and TTPs to not allow themselves to stand in front of non-ballistic structures for too long. This is mixed light, right? It's a daytime hit. You can see it from the windows, the light pouring inside, but there's a lot of shadows in this room, a lot of places for people to hide. Typically, all the assault teams, we'd have on full body armor, we'd have helmet with night vision on, regardless what the structure's on the inside, because you don't know the internal lighting conditions. A center-fed room to us is anything that's equidistant on either side. The door is directly in the center. Now, if I look at that exact same room, and my corner's in the bottom right-hand corner, that's a corner-fed room. Meaning, when I open up, I've got a wall immediately that I'm looking at and all this uncleared space on the side. For him, when he opens it up, he's got his long wall, so I'll call that a corner-fed room, and there's an adversary right there. You're driving right to him and push him right in the corner just like he did, and your number 2 guy takes up the uncleared space. If you had nothing but corner-fed rooms, that's the easiest way to go because you can handle most of it from outside the door. Meaning I open up that door, I see this wall before I'm ever exposed. There's nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. I can pan the entire thing before I make entry. Corner-feds are a lot safer to do as a singleton. Center-fed rooms are issues because right when I step in, I'm exposed to the corners and I can't address them simultaneous. So if I put bad guys on either corner, how am I going to deal with that?
Clear! All clear! Target secure!
A lot of the times when you're just doing a typical assault, we'll call it kill capture or capture kill mission, the team becomes a priority. We're not putting the team at risk. Everything I do is about the team, bringing the team home. The objective, it doesn't matter, we're there to kill them. For a hostage, it's very different. You have to sacrifice a lot of the things that would keep the team safe in order to save the hostage. So everything is done at maximum speed, and you assume a lot of risk. You don't shoot through walls in hostage rescue because you don't know where they're at. You have to be extremely accountable for everything you do. You throw a grenade, it bounces through and it lands in a room with a hostage. You're never living that down. I'd give this 8 out of 10. Even the noise signature, it's a little bit louder than I would typically like, but because it's a hostage rescue, communication is the most important thing. My favorite fight scene we watched today was Sicario 2, because of the realism, the authenticity, and because it looks like something that I've experienced firsthand quite a few times. The raid is probably the most entertaining fight sequence because he does it like the Game of Death and Bruce Lee, just floor to floor, just leveling these people. And it really shows high-level athleticism and fast problem solving, using environmentals to solve problems rapidly over and over and over. If you like this video, why not click on the next one?